And we're live. Hello and welcome to this special episode because today is Back to the Future and I'm here with the guys from the US road trip.
How's it going, everybody?
Hello, Maddie. How is it going?
Thanks, Maddie, for having us. We are in a special location today. Nobody knows where we are. So let's start the stream today.
Hell yeah.
The Hexicans are already waiting. People were going crazy. What? The Kryptosparbuch and Maddie, they're on one stream today? Yes, this is what we do. A really special tour, a special stream for you guys. What are you going to talk about? Of course, we're going to talk about the special cars we have, right? I have never seen a beautiful car as the DeLorean, Maddie. How did you got that car?
Thank you.
Ellen, I guess you're lying right now because I know you are in love with the RV.
I'm just trying to be nice here.
Yeah. So I invested in Hex and I paid my future self, and that worked out really well so far. And so I decided one way to give back to the community and to spread the message of paying your future self would be to buy a DeLorean and to come on this awesome adventure with you guys.
We are glad that you're here, Maddie. So tell us a little bit, what was about your first experience? Because as I know, yesterday in the night, you drove it like the first bigger distance.
Yeah. So yesterday was the second time that I drove it, farther than a few miles, right? And this Hex DeLorean is in the top 5% best preserved DeLoreans in the world, right? There were only 9,000 ever made and about 3,000 were destroyed. And this one is in, as you guys saw, really good condition. And wait, what was the question?
Yeah, what was the feeling of the driving? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I thought this would just be a car, but it's turned out to be more like a dream and more of like.
So you also had like those flame stripes behind you?
Yeah, that's right.
That's cool.
That's right. I lit the road on fire, and I went into the future when Hex was over $100, and that's where I bought the DeLorean.
Why did you only got like a year into the future and not longer?
I wanted to leave some meat on the bone for the new guy.
Thank you, Maddie. I really appreciate that. But you came in yesterday from Chicago, right? And we had a little bit of a problem yesterday. I'm and Patrick, we are waiting so long already for a friend to come and visit us, right? But then the fly was canceled, and luckily Maddie was able to help us out and bring him along. So our good friend OG is here as well.
Yeah, it was a perfect coincidence because at first he called us, so our friend called us yesterday, man, I cannot make it like to the flight to St. Louis, my luggage didn't show up and I'm stuck here in Chicago. And I guess like 5 minutes later, Maddie called us, just landed in Chicago, and like, Maddie, stop, pick up our guide and you don't need to drive alone. And I guess you had fun, no, driving to here.
Oh yeah, I was very lucky to pick up the OG Hexican, and it's more evidence that the universe is just, putting the right people together at the right times. Now, it looks like the picture quality is messing up right now.
Yeah, well, the internet connection here in America isn't the best, and also we are using high quality stuff. Maddie,
you have a question? Because otherwise I would have a question for Maddie. So Maddie, what I know, yesterday during the ride, something special happened on the overall mileage on the DeLorean. Is this right?
That's right. Yeah. So the DeLorean that I bought, it's never gone more than 5,555 miles until we were driving here last night to join the 5555 tour that you guys have started, right? And so it just so happened to cross the Quattro Cinco mark on this trip. And so
so what was your reaction to it?
I started live streaming when it was still 50 miles away, and I streamed onto this YouTube channel. We pulled over, there were semi trucks like going really fast next to us, but we pulled over the DeLorean to do a special stake. And I staked 5,555 hex for 5,555 days. at the same time the DeLorean went 5,555 miles.
So in 15.2 years, that might be 55,555 hectares.
That would be just fine.
550,000 hectares.
So not only is the universe totally aligned because we are doing the tour, Maddie is joining us. He just brought our OG friend. He just made 5,555 miles on this car. And also today is a special day, Maddie, right? Like, you got the car because it is the car from Back from the Future, right? Something like that.
Back into the Future.
Back into the future, damn it. And
sorry for that.
October 1st.
We are only used to the German version of the title.
October 21st, right? Like, what was on that day in the movie?
Yeah, so today is October 21st, which is the day that Marty McFly went to in the future in the movie Back to the Future. And I think it was in 2015, so it wasn't this exact year. But what are the odds that this is the day I would join the tour? And I didn't even know that this is the day Marty McFly went to in the future.
Yeah, everything unplanned, and the universe is just lining up perfectly together for us.
That's right.
So, Maddie, I don't see the chat. Do you have any questions or comments or something in the chat?
Well, as I see it, the chat is going crazy. A lot of comments, guys. Thank you so much. I guess this is all Maddie's work. You have an awesome community built up. Maddie, you are one of the biggest streamers in Hex. You have the biggest community built up. Whenever you stream, the people are coming in like crazy. And right now they're saying, great guys, everything is super. But the streaming quality was not too good. But besides that, I think they love what we do here.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here with you guys. You guys, made a name for yourselves long before the first Hex conference when we started working together on that. But, you guys have been high quality Hexicans the whole way. You guys were not just in from the beginning, but have helped to teach others with this word, Kryptosparbach.
That's all you said.
Yeah, really good. It's, we already trained the whole community how to say Kryptosparbuch.
Yeah, it's a new word that's been created that helps people in the German language and abroad to understand that Hex is a crypto time deposit. And that's where it gets its value from the smart contract that allows you to time lock your crypto and send money to your future self, and also from the community that's been built by everybody. So you guys, you've been making a difference all along the way. And then I've also been really impressed with your predictions that you made about what the number of T-shares would be and what the price of Hex would do into the future. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about how you got such accurate predictions at the first Hex conference back in January?
Oh yeah, I would love to. We are advertising this stream that you are talking about at every single workshop because we did a simulation of the T-share pool in the future, right? The video that we are talking about is the power of T-shares, and you will find it on your channel, Maddie, right? And also on the Kryptosparbuch channel. Well, what we did is we took a couple of OGs from Germany and we talked about what could happen with Hex in the future.
Especially like with the T-share pool.
Especially the T-share pool. And everybody had an own opinion, and we put all the opinions together, put them into numbers, and the numbers gave us this average then, which is the chart of the future T-share pool of Hex, which right now is about 11 million T-shares, right? 11 million trillion T-shares. This is what
11 million T-shares is fine because the T in T-shares stands for the trillion.
Stands for trillion, right? But why is this chart going down that drastically over the 15 years? Because T-share price is only going up, right? And this gives us a beautiful curve like this. And then if you hold the most T-shares, you get the most interest.
Yeah, and so in the beginning of the year, after our privately OG online meetup we had there to discuss the assumption of the T-share pool in the next 15 years, we presented it. And what we did there was a comparison between two stakers. Both stakers never sold a single Hex in the course of 15 years, but the first one staked all his Hex right away for 15 years, and the other one tried to compound his Hex on a yearly base. Speaking of staking 1 year and then take the principal plus all the accrued interest for another year and doing those 14 times over for 15 years as well. And interestingly, the guy who staked from the get-go for the 15 years got 4 times more hex than the guy who just compounded it yearly. And remember, nobody of those two sold a single hex in the course of 15 years. So here you see like the power of longer pays better. And if the T-share pool goes with our assumptions, we will see. We also predicted it like to go up actually even more in this year, and it seems like that 11 million, like this is already a good number. So it looks like it's a bit stuck there at the 11 million T-shares. Maybe we will see a little bit more with more buying pressure from the general market and more general staking activity. Maybe we see more on the Pulse chain. It's all speculation at this point. We will have a look at a closer look in January when you
connection is not too good, but I already saw somebody in the chat saying how he got it fixed and it should work now fine.
It was fixed for a second.
So he's the only person up there, right? Are these on the stream right now at all? Because if these are on the stream, okay. That's the only thing I can think of. It has to be.
yeah, let's see if we can like
Dangerously stupid is saying
deconnect our
sound is good
phones.
anyway.
Maybe
that's
that
the most
helps.
important thing.
I'm gonna play the intro to give us a little bit of time. And we're back.
We're back, yes. So we are still checking a little bit our audio. No, not the audio quality, the video quality actually. So yeah, but it's the video quality who lags a little bit for our viewers. As you know, we are on the road trip, so you never know exactly when you book your next accommodation. You can write them as much messages as you want to. You know, if somebody rents out those houses and doesn't know about those technical details, they don't know what you mean. Please send me like your upload connection speed and so on. So
well, we have a lot of people saying the so the universe is aligned, everything works out perfect. 55555 miles. OG is with us. We are here doing the tour now, Maddie. In 1 hour, we have a casual meetup, and tomorrow the workshop. Maddie, what are you the most excited about to be with us on the road trip?
I am the most excited really to be spending time with people who are new to Hex and people who are old to Hex and being in the middle of all that, right? Because I think Hex is still like, for example, last night I was driving with an OG Hexagon and he explained like a different marketing pitch than I had ever thought of. And I think that could onboard thousands and thousands and millions of people, right? And it wasn't until we were sitting next to each other, you know, just sharing all of our great ideas that I really realized that. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of situations like that. If you've never gone to a Hex meetup, if you've never met up with OG Hexicans, you're missing out and you don't even know what you're missing out on. When I was out there in Ukraine with Steph and Gary and Kareem, I mean, you know, we were all just having such a good time, you know, getting closer, having ideas. You know, Steph is pivoting Staker app to be more dream focused, right? And so, you know, just the opportunity here, the tour is going to be a continuous Hex meetup, basically. I mean, that's what you guys have created, and you guys have.
That's what we wanted, actually.
Yeah.
So this was also like our idea, our goal. It is our goal that we have fun here in America, that we see a lot of the country, and that we go around and meet new people, ideally hexicans or hexicans or future hexicans who want to become one.
And off right now, it is always an OG meetup when we do a workshop, right? But also those OGs, they bring their family and friends. They bring other people that never heard of Hex at all. And Kaylin, for example, is organizing everything, right? So she's putting stickers on everybody's sweatshirt. So Patrick and I, we can see right away how many OGs are there, how many people are new to Hex or have never heard of Hex. And I would say 90% of the people coming to our workshop seriously are really, really new or not even in Hex yet. So, and I also want to say you are totally right. Like when you spend time with Hexicans, you get other opinions, other perspectives, and you learn even more every single day. Even if you are in Hex for 2 years, I learned a lot from those people that I talked with because they're just giving you a different perspective.
So, Maddie, you told us right now that you had like a good conversation with our OG, but you didn't. You left it out. Like, what is the million new user idea? You can't share it, or
Yeah, everybody come to the workshop tomorrow in St. Louis, and I'll share it with you first, and then we'll take it from
that's
there.
good.
If if it's all right, I think we need to write it up like a speech so it can be delivered more powerfully than just off the cuff, because it was not just what was said, but it was the order of the ideas that really made me say, whoa, this is the future onboarding. This is something that hasn't happened yet, right? And I think, again, that's just this one example of how Hex, it's ready to go viral, right? It's got all the best minds. It's got all the best design features of any crypto. And so, anybody who's watching the stream now, you're early, right? And so you're going to get to decide who you tell before Hex goes viral. If you're going to tell people now. So, that's one way that we can all really come together, I think, and make use of the opportunities that we have. If we were able to buy our freedom, now we can share that with other people.
You said the word viral, and I have the feeling Hex is going viral right now. It's not only the numbers of all the Twitter and Hex that are going up, the likes and the subscribes and so on, but I experience it right now here in America. I met already 2 people that I talked about Hex with, and they said, yeah, of course, I have Hex already. Something like this did not happen to me half a year ago, so right? And then look at our workshops and also the casual meetups. We are really lousy at marketing, so we just do it on Twitter and YouTube and so on.
Yeah,
But
I
the
mean,
last-
I'm not even. I don't even have an account on Twitter. For
See, this is what I'm saying. So my expectation for the last meetup, for example, was pretty much none. All right. But then I showed up and the whole Airbnb was fully packed of Hexicans, new people, and so on, that we even did our workshop. And then the workshop afterwards, crazy, crazy big. It was the biggest turnout we had so far in Salt Lake City. So I'm really, really happy to see that. And this just shows me the virality is starting to go, as it seems to me. All right. So this was my story. What else is going on? We are leaving for a workshop in about 30 minutes. So you guys know
it's today. It's the meetup to the workshop,
Yes,
and the
oh.
workshop itself is then tomorrow.
That's what I wanted to say. And I hope it's going to be packed again. We got a big, big warehouse. At least 100 people can fill there. We have enough drinks and snacks for everybody. So maybe if you are watching right now and you are from St. Louis, you're invited too. Just shoot us a message.
Listen, everybody knows somebody who lives in St. Louis. So get on your Facebook, right? And type in my friends who live in St. Louis. And Facebook will tell you, the 5 people that that live in St. Louis. Send them the link to FreedomTV.info or hextour.us, and that'll hook it up, right? And then we will, we'll take good care of the people we'll teach them about Hex. we'll all have a good time, and then then you'll have more hexagons in your network.
We need everybody's help to make this thing viral, right? And what Patrick and I, and now Maddie, of course, as well, are doing is a lot of fun. We are doing it across America, 40 cities, 20,000 miles, and tons of hexagons we talk to, right? But all of that does not matter at all if you do not click on like. Seriously, we need all the likes and subscribes and so on that we can get, because this is what scales what we are doing.
Yes, help us to get the algorithm running, and just by this little few clicks, if each and everybody focuses on that as well, you can stay like private, you don't need to show your face, you don't need to make those live streams, but just show some love, and by doing that you pump your own bag as well, because with each and every like, comment, subscription, retweet, and so on and so far, the algorithm thinks that there is something nice going on, people are interested in it, and then spreads it automatically to new users, to new viewers, and to everybody in this world. And the only reason why not everybody is using Hex is because barely anybody knows about it, and that's what we need to change, guys.
And we are working on that right now. One part of our workshop is to show the global stats of this staker app. And when we started, we were about at 50,000 stakers. Today, almost 70,000 stakers. So we are getting there for sure.
The price has gone parabolic, and Hex is still pre-viral. So if you wrap your head around that, you're not going to have any problem getting your mom in. We did. You can too. She gave birth to you, all right? The least you could do is get her into Hex, right? Before it goes viral.
And make it financial free as well.
Correct.
Well, actually, you said before it goes viral. Actually, I think Hex will just start going viral and then
Never
on
stop.
top and top and top and top, because of this awesome game theory that we have in Hex, right? Like, I don't see any sideways action for years, like Bitcoin had, for example. I don't see that in Hex.
The people who are in Hex, they're different than the people who are in Bitcoin, right? And the ethos is different. It's more evolved. And that's how people can tell really what they're dealing with. There are a lot of people I know who are coming to me asking to get into Hex, and they've never been in crypto before, right?
And it's also, so what is the reason why Hex is more open, and also like a more open community than compared to Bitcoin, for example? And I think the main reason is because Hex is not only here for speculation. When it comes to Bitcoin or Ethereum, we are more or less only speaking about speculation. So I buy, I wait until the price goes up. This is my speculation, and then I can sell it for a higher price. When it comes to Hex, we have this awesome feature of staking. So here, I don't need to watch the price daily. I am my own bank. I can decide for how long I want to lock the money, and then I can just lean back, walk away, and just mark this one date in the calendar. And I don't need to have to look at the chart. I don't need to trade anything. I just need basically, I don't need to do anything besides remembering the date I stake towards.
And luckily, it is so easy with the staker app to do, right? So you can visualize all your stakes. I totally love it. This is why it's such a big part of our workshop, the staker app. It's basically the part of our workshop, right? We talk exclusively about staker app and Hex, of course.
I mean, we are always getting the question for Pulse Chain as well. So obviously, one it's a smaller part of the workshop is as well the Pulse Chain, which is coming out in a few months from now. And I guess everybody is already excited for that, because it will help so much onboarding way more users. And why? Because no user will need to pay a $50 to $200 fee in order to get his first few Hex.
Hex is the future, right? And the Staker app is a good example of that. Staker app is now becoming the #1 deployer of smart contracts in the world. We are on the cutting edge of the cutting edge here in Hex. there are no other cryptos that are really even close, right? Because smart contracts, they're used really to just secure base level protocols. They're used to create games that people can speculate on. But smart contracts really have so much more potential. And so in Hex, most of the streamers probably don't even know this yet, right? That Hex, that Staker app as a part of the Hex community, you know, it's already the largest producer of smart wallets.
That's amazing. I did not know that. Like, it is because they're using this Knossi smart wallet
Yes.
app, right?
Knossi is safe, isn't it?
Knossi
Yeah.
safe. Yeah, that's what it is. I did not know that they're the most producers of those wallets. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, like there's so many things that are going to be able to be programmed into money and that are going to be possible once the world can trust money and can have better security than exists in crypto right now. I mean, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're made from nothing, right? Hex is made from the community becoming more long-term thinkers.
Yeah, well, as I see it, the whole community, that's the Hex is just a community effort, you know. Look at our car, for example. We have Look into Hex, Hex Graphs, all the other community sites like Hex Vision and so on. What we are doing, it's all just a big community effort. The community is coming together and it's really innovating crypto right now. This is how I see it. Of course, Richard started it all with giving us the pressure, this present of Hex, right? But now the community is taking it to another level. How many sites do we have, Hex, Patrick, where you can stake your Hex right now? It's like 10 or 20.
Where you can effectively stake. No, it's actually 5, but the other 4 are not made by Richard, with different website, different front end base, and so on. So if the main,
I made 3.
you made 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made staker.app.
No, not so. Staker app's the front end.
Sorry, t-share.app.
Yep.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So t-share.app. And the other 2, what
And
are the other 2?
Then go.tshirt.app allows you to stake based on future market supply that you can see in a chart. And then quattrocincos.club is where you can only make Quattro Cinco stakes. And so those are 3 different front ends that I've worked on, you know, in collaboration with Future Us. Follow him on Twitter or on YouTube at Future Us.
Yeah, and besides that, I would know like 3 other ones from individual developers, so no problem to stake at all. So if something happens to Richard what nobody wants to see, then still nothing will happen to Hex.
That's right. Yeah. How many other cryptos have so many front ends? We can't keep track of them all.
Yeah, usually like if there would be a big problem in the at the founder of each and of a different cryptocurrency which is not vastly matured like Bitcoin, for example, then you will have a lot of troubles if the main group walks away from the project.
Yeah. Hex is different. Hex is the only real cryptocurrency. Everything else is a promise coin. Even Bitcoin has to hire devs to keep it going. Hex doesn't have to do that. Ha ha ha.
That's a good one, Matty. That's a good one, yeah. And that's also the reason why Hex would stay unaffected if anything happens to the people of the community. So Hex started as a complete project, already audited 3 times before the first day, and we don't have a roadmap in Hex. Hex is just what it is, and nobody will ever be able to change what it is. And yeah, that's why I thought last year, let's research the whole Hex contract, because the Hex code cannot speak for itself. So some people of the community should do that, you know, and explain everybody what the Hex code is about and how the functions are run.
I think this is a really important point that you are making here. Hex is a complete product. You cannot change it or anything. We have 3.69% of inflation. Just as the dollar has inflation too. The only difference is, and this is what the people understand really, really good when we come to this point, the dollar is inflating to crazy terms. We do not know how many do they print in the future. In hex, we know exactly how they're gonna, how much hex we're gonna print in the future, right?
Yeah.
And the inflation in the dollar is only going to the people that actually harm the economy, right? But in hex, the inflation is going to the people that believe the most into the coin. And this is what I love so much.
Dude, that's a good point.
Like I know exactly when we put on this chart, right, with the dollar inflation and the hex inflation, which is like
it's called protect your purchasing power. Everybody can look it up at hexgraphs.com.
And then we are telling the people, well, look, what is the government doing? They are doing stupid things and just inflating more and more, and we do not know how much.
Uncontrolled. It's about
Uncontrolled,
this
this is the word, yeah.
uncontrolled money creation, you know.
And in hex, it's just totally controlled, totally predictable. If you go into the market of hex and you stake for 15 years, you know how much more inflation will there be, because it's only 3.69% every single year. And this is delayed too, because I staked for a long time. My inflation will come out in the future. Like, what is the average? 5.75%. This is what the staker class...
5.7 years, you mean the weighted average duration?
5.7 years. This is the average that the staker class decided to put out the inflation in the future.
And that's great, guys, you know. So I guess it's the first time in the world that we have a system where right now over 65,000 people staked a hex amount worth over 20 billion US dollars for an average weighted duration of more than 5.7 years. And I mean, we expect this average duration to rise even more in the future as newer hexicans get the system, understand the system better than the old hexicans from the first few months, because each and everybody. ALLin, how long did you take to understand T-shares?
6 months. It took me a half a year to understand the power of T-shares, for sure.
Yeah, so the newer people understand it already a bit better because they get better educated from us, basically, and so they are staking longer from the get-go. And the older people also, when their stakes mature, most of the time those stakes have so much value right now because the hex price went up so much and they got a really good interest rate from the beginning as well, so that most of them don't even need all the principal and all the accrued interest what such a stake from the beginning has right now. So what are they doing? They are just taking their share what they want to use in their real life right now, and the rest they just take and put in the end of their staking ladder, meaning usually people have a staking ladder, have already those 15 years filled with stakes. So what they can do when one stake comes out, they just take what they want to take, and the rest they can stake for 5,555 to the end of their ladder. And what happens with that, if they don't take too much profits, what happens is that they increase the T-shares, their personal T-shares. And what happens as well is that the weighted average staking length moves up a little bit.
Well, yeah, you said it. The people in Hex, they believe in the system, right? This is why they staked for such a long time. And you explain it perfectly, because this is exactly what I did last week when my birthday was. I end staked and I restaked on the same single day, and everything is gone again. And I think this is what happens with every OG Hexkin. You know, you do not want to lose your T-shares. And maybe right now is even the time to get some more T-shares. We had the dip, but also you can get more T-shares by just staking longer. Really, really simple. Because most of the stakes that are coming out right now are like, let's say 2 years out, like 1.5 years are the stakes out that are coming in out right now. If you restake that for, like, let's say 10 years, you should have at least double the T-shares than you had before, of this stake, of course. This is at least my experience. And then I also want to say something different from what you were saying. I'm talking to a lot of no coiners, right? And also to OG hexicans. And I see a different pattern here. The OG people that came into Hex really, really early, well, they started staking long term right away. I don't know if they just did what Richard Hart was saying, like my case, or they seriously understood already what the power of T-shares are. So they stake long. If I talk to those younger hexicans, right, my experience is that they did not stake as long right away. So it is a little bit shorter.
It's always individual. You're right.
It's really, really individual.
Because
But my feeling
sometimes
is,
sometimes we get to meet somebody who got into Hex just half a year ago and went in like with a 500,000 Hex and staked it right away for 5555, and now starts to accumulating more Hex for further stakes or not so long time stakes. But some people do like this 5555 right away. Other people need to get more comfortable with the system first.
oh yeah, for sure. All I just wanted to say is, I think the people do not stake as long as we did as OGs. It is because of the Ethereum gas fees. Of course, I did not stake $500 for 15 years back then. I just did a small single stake for like $10 for 15 years, and the fees to create that stake was like 1 penny. So of course I did a $10 stake, but it's somebody who's coming in new today would not do the $10 stake if it costs you $100 to stake it. So when Pulshan is gonna come out, right? What is gonna happen then? I think people will start doing those long-term stakes again, but also it is feasible now to do short-term staking as well. So Patrick, we have those two things going on: more short-term stakers and also more long-term stakers, right? I mean, what do you think how will it play out in the future? Will the long-term stakers be more than the shorter stakers? Because this would mean, yes, you're right, the average duration would go up.
Yeah, so I think that the average duration will go up, but I still think there will be short-term staking. So even with Pulse Chain and so on, there will still be short-term staking. And people are, some people are like misleading the chart of future market supply, which we have at Hex.vision in the section of staking. And you need to know that this is a dynamic chart. If more people stake, then sometimes in the future you get a little more spike, and as stakes are ending, those T-shares get distracted and they mint already their principal back and all their accrued interest. So what happens is that in the past months, of course, you don't see any future supply anymore. You only see like a flat line. And then what you see for the next 4 weeks and then the next months, you see like two huge candles and then it goes down. And this, guys, this is only this short-term staking. So if you look it up in 1 month, if you look it up in 2 months, or if you look it up in 3 months, you will always see those two big candles in the next 4 weeks or in the next 8 weeks. So if you don't zoom in, then each and every spike represents 4 weeks duration, so a month. So you will always see those 2 months ahead with higher candles because people like their short-term staking as well. And so right now, I think it will just go ahead like we are used to, some long stakes, a lot of short stakes, and then when Pulse Chain drops, I expect more. So from the short-term stakers, I expect more long-term staking out of that.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. Well, I saw Mehdi is still busy with the chat, so let me ask you the next question, Patrick.
There's some like a lot of breaking news right now.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, then go ahead, Mehdi.
Okay, so there's two stories developing in the Hex community right now. It looks like Binance leaked that they might be listing Hex or might not. And
I didn't leak. It is just like in their back end data or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the known Hex whales, Rackham Overwatch partners, as we call them, he posted a nice little thread here on Twitter that we can share in the live stream. And I think it's worth just kind of linking this story with the other story, right? That Bitcoin had a scam wick today that went down below 10K.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was on the Binance exchange, and so here we see the first tweet on the screen share. This is from Overwatch partner, where he told us that I guess this is like the back end of Binance and so on. And I don't know if it's like viewable everywhere or only like at Binance.com, what I know, and not at Binance.us.
So they took it down after I think somebody caught it. It was
Okay.
on part of their sitemap, which is part of their index, which some hexagons are saying could have just been basically an automated tracker that went out and saw that Hex was doing something. But then somebody also found that somewhere in their code it's showing PLS_USDT.
I saw that picture. Yeah, of course. We do not know what does that mean. I already saw somebody in the comments, guys. It is CoinMarketCap. It is Binance. They troll Hex a lot. That's what they do. We do not know why they do that, but I think it's pretty interesting what we found here that you just shared. At the PLS_USDT.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does it mean? Well, USDT, that's run by pretty much the shadow banking sector, right? Or the kind of, it's not really supported by the government very much. So, that's the one that's more independent from the government, you would say. There's been all this Tether FUD and stuff, but that's what USDT is, right? And so it makes sense that Binance, which is also kind of a rogue firm, it makes sense that they would be looking at Pulse, right? Because if you're basically a rogue entity, you're going to adopt technology faster than everybody who doesn't have to be, right? Everybody who gets to be lazy and not live in the future, those are the people who are going to deal with centralized exchanges. And then the people who are on the bleeding edge of stuff, they're not always going to be rogue. They're not always going to be bad actors. But at the end of the day, it's going to be people who are the smartest. And then they're going to get followed next by the early adopters, and then that's really how technology goes. I think Andreas Antonopoulos used to say that the first people to use cars were like robbers, people who would rob banks. And like, even he was joking that probably the first people to use like tennis shoes were people who were, trying to like steal shit.
Yeah, because like with those shoes, somebody can run fast and so on.
Yeah, so there are multiple signals whenever technology is about to break through, or it's starting to be understood by people, and usually it's the people who are the most motivated, right, or who have also the best kind of motivation to investigate things and to adopt things. What do you guys think?
I was reading the chat. I'm sorry.
I'm on your side, Mehdi, definitely. So we will see what this is all about. And my guess when it comes to PLS USDT on Binance is they don't want to miss another launch from Richard Hart, because they also got it flooded out of the hex market in the beginning. And I hope now they already saw their mistake, their 10,000x mistake, and now they know, okay, when Richard Hart is doing something on the market, we shouldn't walk away and just call it a scam. So maybe they want to be involved in the Pulse game as well. And yeah, maybe, nobody knows. I betting that Richard definitely is not paying for that, for a listing on Binance, but I hope that now Binance has also as much interest as we have and will list Pulse maybe right away, maybe after 1 or 2 months after launch. Let's see.
But the great thing is that Richard Hart would never ask, hey, could you please do this? Could you please? No, Richard does things, right? And Hex did 10,000x just like intended, not in 2.5 years, but in 2. Are we listed on any exchanges? Are we listed correctly at CoinMarketCap? No. And I think we do not need them at all. We don't need Binance. We are a finished product, like a decentralized product, just like it should be. We don't need to have any listings from anybody. You can still use your hex like intended, and the price can still go up 10,000x even
Sure,
without a listing, right?
I totally agree, but it's a nice to have thing,
Oh yes.
because if we have Pulse USDT, that opens up a fiat for Pulse on Binance. If we have Pulse listed on Coinbase, same thing. Or we just wait until Richard is ready with his exchange. And even there, I don't know exactly if it's open for US citizens or not. So we don't need it necessarily, but it helps for bringing Hex and Pulse to a level where they belong to.
Yes, and like you said, we just gonna build it ourselves. Richard is on it. The Hex community will help with it, and the virality is coming soon.
So this was the one screen share, the one tweet, and you said you have something else, Matty, right?
Wait, there's more to this. Like, it's not, we just reviewed what other people said. So now let me say some things like, that are going to be new to add to the conversation. So like, let's do some thinking about liquidity pools, right? Because that's where Pulse really is creating a new economic innovation. There's never before been a copy of something given to people on a blockchain that would automatically be more useful than the original, right? And so anybody who sets up their own liquidity pool, that could act as a bridge to suck value off of the Ethereum blockchain, because why wouldn't you be locking on both sides and yield harvesting, or like there are going to be a lot of games that can be played, right? And even Richard, in his most recent stream on the Kryptosparbach channel, right, when he was doing a meetup a day or two ago, I was able to catch the first half of it already. And in the first half, he was saying that there are a number of things that he really can't predict with the launch of Pulse. And that's why he's thinking that the snapshot is going to be a less notification situation, right? Like a less time warning or no time warning at all.
Just one question here. Why are you always referring to it as a snapshot? Because I already have like this confusion in my German community. Like, Patrick, what is now the difference between a snapshot and a fork? And it's always
Sure.
the fork.
Yeah, sure. I think that's an important point to digress on is that so snapshot is like more of a call to action, or it's gonna, that type of a word is for me gonna call me to action more, and it would in the past. Now fork, that's speaking to a lot of people who already know about crypto. So
okay, and everybody else
both.
would ask you, okay, yeah, fork, but where is my food now?
So it depends on your audience, who you're speaking to, and I'm glad that we are like clarifying those terms for sure.
Yeah, because if we use it wrong, then the community will as well. But Matty, I want to come back to your point that Pulse Chain gonna change the cryptosphere forever, right? So it is the first time that somebody already has an asset, gets another asset for free, and now they can do something with it.
Yeah.
They can earn money with that, right? So I think, and I just had this thought like last week. So if you have a crypto that has no adoption whatsoever and you cannot do anything with it, right? I'm not talking about Hex here. I'm talking about something stupid. And then you get something stupid for free. And now you put it into Pulse, into liquidity. And now you earn APY on your stupid coins. Isn't that amazing? And this is why I think a lot of coins will now lock up their funds in this bridge to provide liquidity and earn and finally give some adoption to their stupid coins.
Dan already knows what I'm going to say. It's like, Hex allowed you to be your own bank and earn interest, right? And Pulse is going to allow you to be your own exchange and create liquidity pools that you can benefit from in a decentralized way. And this is huge. So I think this symbol of PLS_USDT, I think that is a bridge that's being set up, because even people over at Binance, they tried to copy Ethereum, but they weren't bold enough to take the system state, right? And now maybe whether it's their tracker and their AI figuring it out for them, or whether it's some humans over there realizing that they gatekept the wrong project and now they really have some catch up to do, they are probably going to be playing some games here with USDT and PLS, trying to get ahead of the game, trying to create the first bridges from their network, right? Because if value gets sucked the other way, then they would stand to benefit from that. But guess what? Centralized exchanges, they're not going to be the winners here, as Hex and Pulse really bring freedom to the situation, because look, people could have said already, maybe CZ is the one that is creating a bunch of bot activity that leaves the price of Ethereum so high, because we know that there are millions, well, probably hundreds of thousands of users who don't use decentralized exchanges because they've been crippled by these high fees. And so Binance already it has stood to benefit from the world computer being gridlocked and being shut down by high fees, right? Being slowed down by high fees. And so I find this super interesting, especially also because the other news that we have about this scam wick, I believe that's tied to Binance as well. Is that true?
Yeah, so it happened on the Binance chart. What I know from Richard's tweet, it happened during I slept, so I wasn't live that time. Do you have more information of that, or would you also do a screen share or something? Or
I have not been able to look it up at all. I just saw it on
yeah,
Richard's
I
Twitter.
just saw like that. Richard tweeted it.
Yep,
that
exactly. That's what
he
I saw
was
it as well.
he was right again by saying, yeah, it might wick down to under 10K.
And now it did.
And now it did, yeah.
Well, guys, I just watched the clock here. It is 6 o'clock already, and this means we have to go to our casual meetup that starts in like 2 minutes. Is there something else that you would like to discuss, Maddie?
If I think of anything else, we can go back to the future and insert in the stream like.
Yeah, we have the car now, so we can
exactly
we can do whatever we want to, whenever we want to. That's
right.
Cool.
That's the power of Hex. So go to hextothefuture.com, go to hextour.us, go to t.me/US road tour, go to
the meetup tomorrow
and
come and shake our hands.
Yeah.
And I'm having a good question here. And where can people see more of you, Maddie, with the DeLorean? They want to see the DeLorean in action, like maybe Instagram, or do you have a social media platform where people can see directly what you're doing every single day?
Yeah, so I put the blog together at let me look real quick and remember. So Hex to the Future, where does that go? Goes to all my links, and then let's see, MaddieMcFly.com. Let's see where that goes. That goes to Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And then hextour.us is where you can see my schedule of the Hex meetups that I'm going to on the road tour. And again, that's hextour.us. And that's just a blog that I'll keep updating so you can keep checking back. Oh, it's not. So I'll have that working. You can also go to medium.com/MaddieAllin or MaddieAllin.medium.com.
Awesome.
And there you find all the content of Maddie as well. And also we from the Kryptosparbuch, we will also keep you updated what Maddie is doing together with us with the DeLorean, in which year and months he is currently in.
Correct. This is the day I came to in the future in the movie. And so here I am. Next place you'll see me, it might be in the future or the past, but either way, I'm going to be rolling deep with these hardcore hexicans, and we're going to continue to bring people new insights, right? And new onboards and everything in between.
And right now we are putting up our social media pages, right? We have Twitter, Instagram, and so on. Check out Kryptosparbuch and abit_hex. And then whenever you want to see more of hex.lion on Twitter, for example, then please send me messages and ask for HexLion. Where is HexLion? We need him on Twitter.
No,
right?
we don't need him on Twitter.
Yeah,
No,
if we make enough noise, maybe he will be dedicated to do Twitter as well. So
I'm here already.
Follow us everywhere. It is so important. And then, of course, we will have Maddie in all our social media channels as well. So if you want to see more of Maddie, want to see more of us, please follow us.
Yeah, so thanks, Maddie, for having us again on your live stream. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah.
And this is, I guess, not the last time, and there is a lot of more to come in this team, what you can see here. And yeah, so thanks for having us. I hope everybody had fun out there. Have a great weekend. I hope you can make it tomorrow to St. Louis to the workshop. And yeah, so from my side, all the best, guys, and see you soon.
Thank you to you too. I'm really excited to be joining you. And yeah, we'll keep streaming here. Next time, I'm going to be streaming later for Hex Therapy in a couple hours. So stay tuned. Peace out.
All right.